Mike Johnson, a staunch conservative from Louisiana, is elected House Speaker with broad GOP support. Washington, Republicans unanimously elected Representative Mike Johnson as House Speaker on Wednesday, eagerly elevating a deeply conservative but lesser-known leader to the major seat of U.S. power and ending, for now, the weeks of political chaos in their majority. Johnson, 51, of Louisiana swept through on the first ballot with support from all Republicans anxious to put the past weeks of tumult behind and get on with the business of governing. He was quickly sworn into office, second in line to the presidency. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than, the People's House is back in business, Johnson declared after taking the gavel. A lower-ranked member of the House GOP leadership team, Johnson emerged as the fourth Republican nominee in a cycle of political infighting since Kevin McCarthy's ouster as GOP factions jockeyed for power. While not the party's top choice for the gavel, Johnson has few foes and an important GOP backer, Donald Trump. People are also reading. Plans emerge for Napa Pipe's street plan and art. Also, Costco update. Married cyclists who died in Napa County crash are identified. Napa's Stanley Lane pumpkin patch reopens after loss of founder and father. Downtown Napa merchants band together as Sophie District to build neighborhood feeling letter. An open letter to the Napa community. The Napa Valley $18.86 lunch challenge. Geneva Delicatessen new restaurant coming to St. Helena's Golden Harvest site. Proposed Carneros Winery wins Napa County approval. Napa Valley 10 questions. Like mother like daughter. 2 generations run Dalla Valle Vineyards. Caltrans schedules one-night full closure of westbound Highway 37. October 28 update. Man who died in St. Helena crash identified. Napa Jewish community gathers Sunday amid Israel-Hamas war update. Yountville to open filling station after E. coli prompts boil water. Notice person hospitalized after golf cart crash in South Napa. Napa Valley restaurateur, TV chef Michael Chiarello dead at 61. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than, I think he's gonna be a fantastic speaker, Trump said Wednesday at the New York courthouse where the former president and Republican frontrunner for president in 2024 is being tried for business fraud. President Joe Biden telephoned his congratulations and said in a statement that it's time for all of us to act responsibly, with challenges ahead to fund the government and provide aid for Ukraine and Israel. We need to move swiftly, the president said. In the House, far-right members refused to accept a more traditional speaker, and moderate conservatives didn't want a hardliner. While Johnson had no opponents during a private party roll call late Tuesday, some 24 Republicans did not vote, more than enough to sink his nomination. When GOP conference chair Representative Elise Stefanik of New York rose to introduce Johnson's name Wednesday as their nominee, Republicans jumped to their feet for a standing ovation. Democrats again nominated their leader Representative Hakeem Jeffries of New York, criticizing Johnson as an architect of Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election he lost to Democrat Biden. With Republicans controlling the House only 221 to 212 over Democrats, Johnson couldn't afford many detractors to win the gavel. He won 220 to 209 with a few absences. Listen now and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, RSS feed, Omni Studio. Jeffries said House Democrats will find common ground, work with Republicans whenever possible for the good of the country. Lawmakers quickly reconvened to get on with the business of governing, considering a resolution saying the House stands with Israel and condemns Hamas' brutal war. Next, they plan to turn to a stalled government funding bill. The endorsements for Johnson started pouring in overnight, including from the failed Speaker hopefuls. Representative Jim Jordan, the Judiciary Committee chairman backed by Trump, gave his support, as did Majority Leader Steve Scalise, the fellow Louisiana congressman rejected by Jordan's wing, who stood behind Johnson after he won the nomination. Johnson's rise comes after a tumultuous month capped by a head-spinning Tuesday that within a span of a few hours saw one candidate, Representative Tom Emmer, the GOP whip, nominated and then quickly withdraw when it became clear he would be the third candidate unable to secure enough support from GOP colleagues after Trump bashed his nomination. He wasn't MAGA, said Trump, referring to his Make America Great Again campaign slogan. Attention quickly turned to Johnson. A lawyer specializing in constitutional issues, Johnson rallied Republicans around Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election results in courts. Republicans flailed all month, unable to conduct routine business as they fought among themselves with daunting challenges ahead. the federal government risks a shutdown in a matter of weeks if Congress fails to pass funding legislation by a November 17 deadline to keep services and offices running. More immediately, President Biden has asked Congress to provide $105 billion in aid to help Israel and Ukraine amid their wars and to shore up the U.S. border with Mexico. Federal aviation and farming programs face expiration without action. Many hardliners resisted a leader who voted for the budget deal that McCarthy struck with Biden this year, which set federal spending levels that far-right Republicans don't agree with and want to undo. They are pursuing steeper cuts to federal programs and services with next month's funding deadline. In all, some 15 congressmen, but no women, competed for the gavel over the past several weeks. During the turmoil, the House was led by a Speaker pro tempore, Representative Patrick McHenry, RNC, the chairman of the Financial Services Committee. His main job was to elect a more permanent speaker. Some Republicans and Democrats wanted to give McHenry more power to get on with the routine business of governing. But McHenry, the first person to be in the position that was created in the aftermath of the September 11, 2001, terror attacks as an emergency measure, declined to back those overtures. He, too, received a standing ovation. Tags DCC Wire Lee National be the first to know get local news delivered to your inbox. Time equals 400 ms, greater than sign up. Asterisk I understand and agree that registration on or use of this site constitutes agreement to its user agreement and privacy policy.